Will President Jacob Zuma still be in office by end of business tomorrow? Why is President Jacob Zuma adamant that he is not defying the ANC's instruction to resign? Were the discussions between ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa and President Zuma a waste of time? Is the ANC finally plotting President Zuma's downfall by collaborating with opposition parties? What time is it? It's question time. Khotong Mraro Gurula, and welcome to the show. My name is Mpotsedu. Which political party will claim victory in case of President Jacob Zuma being forced out of office through a motion of no confidence? This is one of the many questions being asked relating to the recall of former ANC president. The embattled head of state delivered a lengthy statement today in which he said he asked the party what he had done wrong, but officials did not provide an answer. He was also at pains to explain why he is not satisfied by the manner in which the ANC has dealt with the transition period. Apart from President Zuma saying the party has failed to give him reasons for his recall, he also explained why he maintains that he deserves to be given more time in office. In other developments, the ANC Caucus has agreed to participate in tomorrow's motion of no confidence. The motion by the EFF is set to be scheduled first and would then be amended by the ANC from the floor. But will Thursday, 15 February 2018 go into the annals of history as the day on which President Zuma lost his position as the country's leader? We are live. If you can call us and your views, the number to dial is 089-1104-210. Internationally, +2789 1104-210. Our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. And a reminder that you can also stream us on our Facebook page, SABC News Online, and our YouTube channel, YouTube/SABC Digital News. My guest, Begin Njali, is the General Secretary of COSATU. And we're expecting to be joined by Professor Dr. Somadoda Fikeni from our Pretoria studio. So whenever he is able to, we will definitely be with him. But before we get into the discussion, after days of speculations, President Zuma finally broke his silence in an exclusive interview with our reporter Mzwandile Mbeja. Let's have a look.
I'm told now they're taking a decision that tomorrow in Parliament there's going to be a vote of no confidence. Nobody has even come to me to say we are moving if we don't move. What is the rush? I've been asking this question all the time. Is the manner in which it is being, in a sense, implemented, this decision that I have a problem with? I've notified. They're taking their decisions. They're taking me to Parliament. And of course, that's how I came in. I came through Parliament. If Parliament says we don't want to, those are the people who elected me. Why should there be a problem? I would be out.
If you don't move, we are moving. Well, that's what President Jacob Zuma said earlier today, announcing that Againdao. Nopal, welcome. We really appreciate you making time to talk to us. I can imagine these are not easy times for COSATU either. You cannot be operating under abnormal circumstances.
No, indeed, it isn't an abnormal time for everyone in South Africa. We thought that the transition was going to be a smooth transition. The ANC were to recall one of its employees, but things tend to be different.
Yeah. And what is your reaction as COSATU to the president's, well, it wasn't a State of the Nation address, but somehow it was an address to the nation?
Indeed, I think we were shocked by the explanation. We said before, knowing President Zuma, that he will not easily go down. He refused to resign. You remember when President Begi wanted to release him of his duty as a deputy president then.
Yes.
He said, you better fire me. So we know, and we know how difficult it may be if you want to. But we thought the interest of the country will come forward. What is it that President Zuma want to do in the remaining few months, that to an extent that he says, I will rather fire me than me resigning in terms of those issues as a cadre of the movement. He has been deploying people and recalling them, and sometimes without giving them any explanation. I mean, how Pravin was humiliated, called overseas on a short, and in fact we were told that he tried to call him off the plane. Unfortunately, the plane has already left. And then he called him, by the time he arrived in London, the message was that take the next plane coming back, which he took the same plane, I mean, that landed him there. No explanation given, and people accepted that to be recalled with the perks that people have and enjoy, sometimes not a nice thing.
Yeah.
But when your organization that has deployed you call you back, ordinarily we feel that people will just accept without needing any explanation.
Sulan, you are in Limpopo. Welcome. Sulan? Sulani? Okay, Sulani is not there. But do give us a call. Give us your views, your opinions, even on Twitter at QuestionTime24. But no, but I mean, I was left with questions. The president says he was, or let me just quote him, I was one of those who said we should not recall Mbeki because we would create a bad precedent. Of course, I was defeated by the majority. Well, one of the people who was at that NEC is Julius Malema, who has written that, no, actually, he's not telling the truth. The person who had opposed that move vehemently was Cyril Ramaphosa. He, in fact, came to me and said we must get rid of Mbeki because he cannot work with him. But there's something that I would only say in my home language, which means a leopard only rejoices when it's mocking the other spots, but when it is its turn for its spots to be mocked, it cries foul.
It's hard to believe what the president has been saying today. Honestly, it's very, very difficult. But more so when he says, look, the decision, he accepted the decision of the majority. There's a contradiction. The majority have spoken now in the NEC.
Yes. Why
can't now accept it and say, I was defeated by the majority then, I'm defeated by the majority now, so I'm going to toe the line. It's just unbelievable what he's saying. And if those who are with him says, you are lying, I think he has to respond to them so that we can get a better information on this.
Manyovu, you are in Nelspruit.
Yes, kunjani na?
Ngiyaphila unjani baba?
Ngiyaphila ngibingelele nomphathi lapho ukhona khona lapho. Lengakusho mina ukuthi umuntu omdala akarevive.
Umuntu omdala makahamba
nje i-ANC ikakhulu general members of the ANC. Angaze afune nokwathi ma reasons ukuthi uyena wendeni as president of the country. Kuningi lesikwatiko vele singumalunga ka-ANC angeke samtshela thine ku media ukuthi yena wendeni. One boy, you remember when he is in parliament, you know what is happening. The opposition, they don't want to see Jacob Zuma addressing the nation.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the issue of cancer, we know very well what happened. You see, imali ka-Eskom, imali ka-Transnet. Today sisenkingeni mpo. Umuntu omdala akahambe ayohlala ekhaya.
Angabuti mbuti.
Thank you very much, Mbo.
That Manyovu, ngithi angabuti mbuti umuntu omdala.
Akahambe.
Okay.
Ubutani. Angithupha kwengithi lapha. yena umathi yena ufuna introduce upresident uCyril Ramaphosa le bo right nabo bani banyana ngibani lo introduce Jacob Zuma yena who introduced Jacob Zuma from G8 nabo bani banyana. No, this man must step down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ngivile baba. Dr. Fikeni, welcome to the show, and we are keeping you busy lately, but we definitely enjoy having you. The president says, at no stage I ever said to the leadership, your decision is not right. It's the first time I said your decision is not right. If you want to recall, then recall. Out there is a narrative, it looks like Zuma is defying. I have not defied. I have disagreed with the decision taken, close quote. What's the difference?
Well, I do think that President Zuma lives in the universe of his logic, which seemed to be parallel to or contradictory to commonsensical one. That's why most of his statement was full of so many contradictions, which contradict things he has said before, and which also contradicted some of the things. Just go back to a psychological pattern. Throughout, I was trying to think very carefully. President Zuma has never done anything wrong. It's always everybody else. When he delivered his speech as his final speech in the Congress of the ANC, it was the party that was wrong. It was the veterans. It was the alliance partners. It was everybody else. For him, he has never done anything wrong. But again, the reason for that is because ANC leaders created this personality cult around him and defended him even when he was doing things which were wrong. Now he is confused as to why, when I have no recent scandal, you seem to be trying to remove me when you have defended me at the worst of times. That to me is the contradiction that is here. And also things that he seemed to accept when they happen to other people. For example, he says, I'm unhappy that you remove me without explanation. And here is a person who has had no less than 9 cabinet reshuffles. No explanation, not even to his fellow leaders. So to him, the principles apply to everyone else except him.
Pizzo, you are in Pretoria. Welcome. Hi, Atenta Pizzo. Mrena. Udumetse papa.
Yeah, when you catch a call, then I can relax the level of the political development, the Kenyaka comment, the Zuma.
Hey.
They are not only train touches because I'm politically aware, even if I'm not a politician.
Diagwaha.
They are not hitting trouble and I'm not talking whole money, the room model plus Warren April.
Yes.
Mara akerate comment e a buletseng a re o nasanya ke gore President Beki a tosiwa mo stulong ntho e creatile cope a yagana
yeah
ke yena o a creatile cope because ka go display sa o terana kuda and then I create so EFF, a very vibrant Julius Malem.
Yes.
Or even people like this guy, who advance the frustration of African. I create so EFF. EFF is one time catching, or one time what goes around comes around. Ke kopela ile yena ntate ntjadi gore please ababolele nnete khosadi issue ya khosadi ya go lebella di politician a ke rate re a safara go mebereko.
Okay.
Yeah, le bona abanka ba ye body labor issues because batho ba kubiwa mmerekong a visit the Department of Labor for UIF a bone ma-African a sokolang mola gore ba tswe mo dipoloticieng ka gobane ke bona the same people who contaminate bontate Zuma go etsa dilo tse di tswileng tseleng. Nna se mogolo wa ka ke re issue ya gore Zuma a re ke nyako introduce Ramaphosa or BRICS, an African
Union.
No, it is you. That is a big mistake because you almost set that up to create the impression that is not the correct leader. Not Ramaphosa. Why? Because it was a neutral candidate from Mandela up to now. Not even that as a Maika Court or Camarate Isar Women or Moria or a Conomoratel Lamborghini.
Le Boemetse guy?
O moria gore re go morapella ka tlhago se tsweu ke ntate wa borona re ka se mmola ya tlo go moria kwa re moletse phala
bread.
Thank you.
No, di kwagetse mogolo wa ka. No pala. Well, I guess this is a subject that we've spoken about, numerous times in the past. But I want us to focus really on the president. He says he is being victimized here. I never defied. I disagreed with the decision because my feeling is the decision is not right. Since when are people's feelings important here? Because the story that we've been told all along is that whatever the ANC decide, as a disciplined cadre of the movement who's been in the trenches, I will abide by the decision of my organization.
I think it's a sad story. Maybe Professor is correct that the ANC defended the time when Zuma was not supposed to be defended. And I think it makes that comparison that now he has done something wrong. And I don't believe that the ANC leadership on his engagement over these 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they didn't explain to him why he has to leave. I don't believe it, but we have told him before, and many other organizations have told him, he has put us in the junk state in terms of the economy.
Yes.
He has replaced capable ministers with incompetent ministers in dealing with those issues. He has come out and apologized on a number of occasions of wrongdoings in terms of those particular issues. And if we have to save the country, he has to go. Now he's refusing to go. He can't see that 10 million people are unemployed. 10 million unemployed. You see nothing wrong in terms of those particular issues. So I think we'll be wasting our time talking to the reasons behind President Zuma. I think we need to be moving forward and hope that members of parliament will do something correct tomorrow so that the country can be able to move forward.
Gilbert, you are in Tembisa. Welcome. Gilbert? Okay, Gilbert is Gilbert, we can't hear you, unfortunately. Dr. Fikeni, there's a political paradox looming tomorrow. This is a motion of no confidence proposed by the EFF, which the ANC is going to get a free ride ticket to achieve the same goal, yet probably for different reasons.
Well, let me start by saying they say the life of politicians or the life of a cat, they have 9 lives. Indeed, it looks like the 9th one is going to work. And this time around, it works at the expense of the ANC in a sense of being embarrassed by its own deployee who says, go get a ride on the EFF's motion of no confidence after defending him 8 times, such that EFF would take political credit out of this outcome. I don't think they will be very happy with that. And he should actually be thinking of the fact that when he goes through his legal challenges, which are many for this year, he needs political support. When you are retired, you need a government that will be able to deploy you into some peace missions, being an observer. But once you burn your bridges, they are going to cripple him in a sense.
Sheila, you are in Katlehong. Welcome.
I'm Paul Guy. re teng papa
Yeah, ma'am.
mme ke re ntate wa rona man ha re tswele a tsamaye ne because una batla mshini wa hae hombedi so mbeki amufa mshini wa hae so jwale yena o dlala ka ona mshini o ithunya yena lotu and then thola pele if a rata South Africa na acho a rata le batho ba South Africa a rata le ANC ha vele a resign a itswele fela a ska batla hore a hlambalaziwe parliament ke a leboha ntate.
All right, ke lebohile haholo. No, but the president says you don't force people. You don't just come to say, because I have authority, you must go. We are being plunged in a crisis that I'm sure my comrades, my leaders will regret. You don't just apply your authority in a manner which will cause problems in the organization. He is adamant that his recall is going to plunge the ANC and perhaps by extension the alliance into a crisis.
It's unfortunate because the statement can be read by many people as inciting some kind of violence,
Yes.
which might be based on tribal kind of arrangement.
Yeah.
The things that we are fortunate with in South Africa is that many of people are politically aware. I mean, we are sick and tired of violence. We have seen violence, we have experienced violence. We don't want to go in there. I mean, it's going to be that difficult that if you want to go in that particular way, inciting people, and later claim that it is not him that is inciting violence. But we're hopeful that people have seen violence here. And we're political conscious, work as part of those particular issues. No matter how we can differ, but the question of violence is the last resort that people will go into that one. I think he has to recall and be able just to digest what he has said. There's something wrong. I think maybe he's overcome by anger that he's not listening to himself what he's saying.
Dr. Figeni, what do you think is going to happen here? The president says, well, he is yet to address the nation. We do not know what that address is. It may, in a way, be a resignation. It may be an address that says, well, if you want to fire me, go ahead and fire me. Does he have much to lose anyway?
Certainly, there is no room for maneuver here. In fact, he should just be trying to reflect on how he will be remembered. Will he be remembered as a denialist who never understood the challenges he brought upon the country? Will he be remembered as a person who tried to incite violence, even though I believe nothing of that sort would be happening? If indeed he does that, then whatever little remains of his legacy will actually destroy him, because right now ANC will have to deal with the damage he leaves behind. Perhaps this is a giant lesson to say leaders must always try to uphold principles of organizations rather than uphold and defend leaders. It's leaders who must adjust to the party principles, not parties adjusting to the leaders, as it has happened with Jacob Zuma.
Perhaps as we finalize, Dr. Figeni, chances are there's going to be a new cabinet. Who are some of the ministers you wouldn't like to see in the new cabinet?
Well, I do think that some of the ministers, especially the last few years, some of the weakest ministers were brought in, very often for wrong reasons. Some are already involved in a whole range of things like the state capture, and some of them are involved in some irregularities in their departments, and those would be the first ones that one would actually take out, because one of the biggest problems in South Africa where we find ourselves is the state capacity to implement policies that are decided. Very often, this turnover of leaders and the lack of capacity and professionalization of the state and the state companies is the cause of the problem. The second one, I would look for the strongest people in the areas of finance, the state-owned companies, because that's where the leakage seems to have been happening.
Okay.
And those are some of the things. Education, education, education.
Nopal, what will please the workers?
Tomorrow, talking about tomorrow.
Yep.
What will please the workers, I think, is that the president change his mind during his sleep and wake up in the morning and say there's no need to go to that parliamentary motion. He has resigned.
Thank you very much for your time, and thanks indeed to Dr. Figenide. That was question time for today. A big thank you to my guest and to you for watching the show. And unlike other days, well, the night rider is here early today, so Leanne Manas takes over from me. So enjoy yourself. Have a hot.